Everyone, it is the Nightcast. Wes and I are joining you in front of some incredibly bright lights, so you may see us squinting a mite bit tonight.
It's KCP After Dark.
Yeah, KCP After Dark. I'm looking at the feed right now, and it is bright. That is for sure. Wow, look at that.
Yeah, it is.
That's bright.
See that reflection right there?
Yeah, that.
Right there?
Wow, we forgot to get extra makeup on Wes tonight.
Needs the powder.
Yeah, lots of powder. Anyway, okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
Let me get my notes up here so we know that it's 49. 3, 2. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening. This is Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 49. I am your host, Will, joined as always by my good friend Wes.
Here I am.
He is to my left as always. We are joining you, if you're not watching on Facebook or on YouTube, we are having a nightcast tonight. I thought it might be a little bit of fun in the dark out here, so I set up some lamps and... we're actually getting some heat off the lamps. Can you feel it?
The heat signature coming at me? Yeah.
The only signature we're getting is the glare off your forehead.
Yeah.
So that's, the space station just called and said, can you turn it down a notch? Yep. Anyway, so we got a fun freestyle for you tonight. Like I said, it's a little bit late, but that's all good. We both had some stuff going on tonight. We both had some sport events, and you had a little DIY stuff. Derek had a football game earlier, and Annabelle had practice.
She had practice today.
Very nice. And what was the DIY project that you guys did at the Home Depot?
It was a do-it-herself, is what they call it.
Did you watch?
I managed the kids. We did hot laps around the store.
So that's when you wish you were at IKEA, because then you can just, they're not going to get out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're safe, but they'll just stuff themselves with crappy meatballs.
It was supposed to be some little s'mores tray, but it looked like a silverware organizer. Basically, you just had the rectangular deal with a couple of dividers going yay. Kind of.
Okay, so you didn't make s'mores; you were making a tray to serve s'mores.
Yeah. Some sort of a s'mores vessel, if you will.
A vessel of
and
s'mores.
It looked like a silverware tray to me, but I don't know.
How did it turn out?
There was a malfunction because she claims that my wife claimed there was no directions supplied.
Okay. So Tia is blaming somebody else?
Yes, that's right.
Wow.
So she had she had it like halfway assembled and then realized something was wrong, and so she had to bust it all apart and start over. So that's kind of what took us a little extra long.
What did they make it out of? What did she make it out of?
I don't know. Pine or fir, whatever.
Oh, so it was woodworking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nails and glue, the whole banana. Yeah.
No kidding. Yeah. Wow, that's kind of cool. I didn't know they did that. Is this something they do regularly?
Every third Thursday the third Thursday of every month.
Third Thursday.
Yeah, exactly.
I see how that works.
Yeah.
Well, that's is it free?
Yeah, it's free.
At any Home Depot? Or
I think so.
This
and I don't know if it's different days of the week for different depots, but the one on 192nd is the third Thursday of the month.
Huh. Well, that's actually rather interesting.
Yep.
So, that's very cool. So, as always, let's get into something good that happened to us since, in this case, Monday. What do you got?
Wow. My brain is fried. I couldn't even come up with anything last night. You know how? Give me a second. Go ahead. Give me a second.
I will tell you that. So what good happened to me is I keep going back to Derek and the football game and stuff, but today the last game he didn't get to play that much, and today he played the entire second half as the right guard, which is not his normal position. But I will say I'm incredibly proud of the young man. He got smoked badly on one play, but they played Corbett, and it was actually a mixed 7th and 8th grade team, and these guys were... there were some of them that were well over 6 feet tall, and he actually held his own very well, and I think if he continues this, he may get himself a starting position out of it, because I think he went out there for one series, and the coach saw how well he was doing, and he let him play out there. He stayed out there the rest of the game, and for the first touchdown of his team this season.
Wow.
Very exciting.
Very nice.
So, that was pretty awesome, and my mom, my dad, my Uncle Steve, and Bonnie, and Kim and I all watched it, so it was a family gathering. It was a lot of fun.
Excellent.
So he was excited. Were you able to come up with something?
Yeah, I guess a nice surprise, almost like Clark Griswold Christmas Vacation, if you will.
Okay.
Got a letter in the mail stating that for the first time since I've worked for the company, which has been 3 years now, that we're going to get a little bonus.
Whoa!
Didn't say how much. So I'm not expecting like
don't go buying the
$20,000 bucks. Yeah, exactly. But it's kind of a cool thing because we haven't, like I said, in the 3 years I've been there, they haven't done a bonus. I know from people I've talked to that have been there for a long time, they used to do bonuses and then they stopped for a while.
Really?
And now they're going to do one again in February is when it's going to drop. So,
nice.
So yeah, that was
and
cool.
even better, it won't hit your taxes until the following.
That's right.
year.
Yeah.
So you have time to plan for some write-offs.
That's right.
Well, very nice. So let's get into a good news story here, and I really like this story, and I've got a little local insight to this story. It's the good news story is that there are 75,000 little free libraries worldwide, and people put these up kind of in the front of their houses and places like that. Am I right?
Yeah, and I was going to just briefly touch on, you probably have more details about it, but I was going to mention that I have noticed it popping up here a lot locally, in the front yards of houses and also businesses. As you're shooting down like the main drag of Washougal, there's that Discovery Dental has one out front, and then but there's one that's in the front of somebody's house, like a block away from my parents' house. I noticed that when I drove by. So
really,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So the reason I say I know a little bit about it is, so my aunt lives in Camas, and right across the street from her house for a long time, almost as long as she's lived there, I think, so long as I can remember. She bought the house, I believe, in 2011, and there is one of those boxes that sits right out there, and whenever we're over there in the summertime, not so much in the wintertime, there are kids using it, and it's kind of a, give one, take one type thing. Yeah. And Derek has gone over there and checks them out, and it's not real big. It's probably, I don't know, maybe 3 feet wide by a couple feet tall or something like that. And I like to see that it gets use, and the kids in the neighborhood stop by. And I don't know if it's so much that they stop by for the books or the fact that she's got this hill of ivy, and for some reason they love to ride their bikes down it. And I saw a kid here not too long ago, it was within a couple months, just about lose all his cookies on that thing, going down it. And it was one of those YouTube moments that you wish that you had the camera rolling. You don't want the kid to get hurt, and he did end up falling down, but it probably would have gone viral or something like that for some kid to be on a little mountain bike trying to traverse the ivy. So that was kind of fun. So, well, the hot sheet's a little hot tonight.
Yeah,
not a lot of good stories,
steaming.
but we're gonna we'll clip through it and then get to the fun stuff. But the first one here is that the confirmation hearings for Brett Kavanaugh are hitting a little bit of a speed bump, which we probably got a little bit of an update today on that one. Am I right?
Yeah, it's. I'm sure everybody's kind of been hearing a little bit about it in the news. It's been a big deal. He was. Some lady came forward, first anonymously, back in July, and sent a letter to the Senate Judiciary Committee. The ranking minority leader, who would be Dianne Feinstein, got a hold of this back in July. So the big hubbub right away is that why, if she received this back in July, why'd she hang on to it for 6 weeks? Mm-hmm. Obviously, so that's a little bit of a gamesmanship there, if you will. But the long story short is that it's long on accusations and very short on substance. That is, the lady who is accusing him of sexual assault. It was 36 years ago. They were both in high school, supposedly, but she cannot name a month. I think she said it was summer of some year, so she can't narrow it down to a month, and she couldn't even narrow it down to the city. She can only name the county it took place in. She couldn't give a city, and it was really weird. And she couldn't give, and obviously as you would expect then, she couldn't give the address of the house. So it's very
I can give her
vague.
that one. I mean, I wouldn't know the address either.
But I think even more so, like a street it was on, she couldn't even tell people where it was at. So a whole bunch of weird stuff, behind the scenes kind of stuff that makes you wonder what the ulterior motives is. The accuser's mother, her mother, way back when, was the subject of a civil lawsuit. And her mom lost the civil lawsuit, i.e. had to pay out X number of dollars. Okay. The judge presiding over that civil lawsuit was Kavanaugh's mom.
Really?
So there's a little bit of hokiness going on there.
So I didn't know that. I know that this first came out, I believe, in 2012, like it was in a therapy session with she and her husband.
And she supposedly did not name Kavanaugh by name, according to the therapist's notes, But now she's saying, yes, she did. The therapist just screwed up and didn't take the notes right, because she had the number of people in the room as 4, and the therapist wrote down 2. So she's basically accusing the therapist of taking shoddy notes.
Yeah, because what I had seen was that there was one other person in the room, his friend, ironically named Judge, last name Judge, and that guy has completely denied any knowing of any or knowledge of this event.
And the other thing that was kind of funny is a supposed longtime friend of hers went to vouch for and corroborate her statement. That's the other issue going on. There has been no corroboration. This one person tried to corroborate her statement and posted some statement on Twitter, on her Twitter account, backing her up supposedly, and right away people shot all sorts of holes in her statement and found all sorts of flaws in her statement, and she promptly deleted not only her statement, but I believe she deleted her account.
Really?
So it again, yet more fishy stuff. And then, not to take up too much time, but they wanted her to come before the closed committee on this coming Monday to testify. Both she and Kavanaugh testify separately, each give their side of the story. And she had, for the longest time, refused until the FBI did an investigation. There's 2 issues with that, is that this is not the FBI's jurisdiction. It's not a federal crime that was committed.
Yeah, there's been no charges or anything.
FBI has no, if anything, 2 things: statute of limitations is way gone on that. But if anything, it would be a local police matter. The federal authorities would have nothing to do with something like this. And so that was obviously a big stall tactic. And then so they said, okay, you need to show up on Monday, or we're going to proceed with the vote if you don't show up. And so she, up until today, said she wasn't going to show. And then today, her attorneys issued a statement saying that she would show next week if they met certain conditions and treated her fairly. And who is she to say demand the Senate to treat her fairly? Who is she to lay?
I mean, you want her to be treated fairly,
right?
And why wouldn't they treat her
exactly fairly? So what does fair mean? What kind of stipulations do they want is what it means. So the whole thing is really shaky. Last I read earlier this evening is that they said now they wanted her there on Monday, and now I think she said she can't make it until Thursday.
For something this big and something that is not, it's not like this popped out yesterday.
Right.
You would want to, if you're going to make this as public as she has, and everyone has, Democrats, Republicans, whomever it is, you'd think that, time is of the essence.
Yep.
And regardless of if you have a vacation or a dental appointment, you need to get up there, and you got to get up there, and you got to, see what's going on. I see what you're saying here. So, but no, it's one of those things where she needs to be treated fairly regardless. You want to make sure that all of the facts are there, and if there is holes to be punched in her story, then they need to be there. And I think the story has kind of already done that to itself to some degree. So anyway, and we're not going to belabor it. It's just one of those things that it did pop up, and you don't want it to. If it does have merit, you want it to be handled correctly. If it's not a federal issue or whatever, but the big thing is that if this is something that is being used to besmirch him, then that's ridiculous.
Right.
I just, why does it have to pop up now? He's been, what did they say? He's been vetted 6 times.
Yeah.
He was in President Bush's
he's undergone FBI background checks on 6 separate occasions as he's moved up the judicial rankings.
And it wasn't like she didn't know then.
Right.
So anyway, well, it's this story. The next one here on HotSheet is an incredibly sad story. A top collegiate golfer that was here at Iowa State University from, where was she from?
Spain.
And she has been murdered, or she was found murdered.
And she was a absolute superstar of a golfer. She was the Big 12 women's champ for golfing.
Really?
She was named the state of Iowa's female athlete of the year. And she was here as in a foreign study, so she's from Spain. She's a Spain national. She was here doing study abroad kind of thing. And I think she was just finished. I think this was her last year because she's 22 years. She was 22 years old, I believe. So she was in her senior year, and some golfers showed up to the course one morning and
like 10 in the morning or something.
Yeah, and saw a golf bag just sitting out there in the middle of the course, and that's kind of weird. So they went looking around and found her body in the bushes.
And sounds like they've nailed some. They have found somebody.
They have arrested a 22-year-old homeless man, and evidently he's confessed to it. And the motive behind it, the authorities are saying that he told them that he just had this urge to kill somebody. And it's obviously that's
horrible.
Yeah.
And you just, again, whether it's any serial killer, murderer, these guys that have these types of thoughts, how did they not? I don't even know what I'm saying right now. It's just because it's kind of one of those overwhelming things.
Right.
The mental illness part of it, that's not something that just popped up yesterday.
Right.
I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Was there any type of knowledge of his background or having this type of, these thoughts or anything like that? So this next one, number 3, President Trump has decided to declassify all the documents relating to the collusion case, and he's making them public.
Yeah, and it's not. I don't think it's not technically all the documents necessarily, but there's a lot of them in regards to the FISA warrants and the information that they used through this supposedly bogus Fusion GPS dossier, that kind of stuff. Trump wants that declassified to basically, which I can kind of agree with, for transparency's sake. There's all this hubbub going on behind the scenes of is it legit, is it not? So let's just declassify it, let the public see it, let it make up their own mind. Of course, there's going to be redactions behind it if there's any sensitive info. However, the Deputy AG Rod Rosenstein, who's overseeing this all, as we remember, Jeff Sessions has previously recused himself. So Rosenstein, the Deputy AG, is running the show for this investigation. There is speculation that he will refuse to make them public,
Okay.
even though Trump has ordered so, that he may say, no, forget it. In which case, there's now a lot of prominent people saying that if that is the case, and if he says no, then Trump needs to fire him right away. Then that's insubordination basically at that point. So I guess he works at the pleasure of the president. He's an appointee. So
Exactly. And the biggest thing in this is that I've seen where it's a bad look for Trump is that he's thinking that this is going to be his crowning achievement for his, one of his crowning achievements. Evidently, he wears multiple crowns for his presidency. This is the big issue I have with it. In the article that we both read, it stated that he hasn't read the documents.
Right.
That, not that he's going to read all kinds of thousands of pages, but maybe even the cliff notes or maybe the big pages or something like that, so that what he's talking about is not just something he's pulling out of thin air.
Right.
That's kind of my issue with, yes, I'm all for the transparency. Let's get it out there.
Yep.
It may end up being something that bites him in the ass, though.
Yeah.
Because if there's legit information in there, like they say, be careful what you wish for.
Yep.
And so we'll see how that ends up coming. Here's the scariest story in the hot sheet.
Big time.
This is Big Brother times a million.
Yeah.
The Chinese government is set to begin monitoring their citizens and ranking their behavior by 2020.
Yep.
Holy moly.
Yeah, they've already, I guess, test marketed as
Yeah.
it were in small,
it's like watching a movie, right?
in small measured doses. They're starting to run tests on it now, but they want it fully operational by 2020, as you said. And what they're terming this is social scorecards.
Oh, man.
And this is absolutely Big Brother. This is crazy. They have a network of 200 million surveillance cameras, all linked together, all with facial recognition, so they can track the movement of every person 24/7.
And by 2020, they said that's going to triple.
Yes.
That is unbelievable to me. And this ranking system is based on a point system from 0 to 800, and it's going to affect their lives, not
Yes.
in the negative of, yes, Big Brother's watching you. They're incentivizing people
Yes.
by saying and it kind of sounds like you're going to when you buy a new car and you get the floor mats and stuff. If you probably turn people in or something, you're going to get like rental cars cheaper.
Yeah.
You're going to get airfare and things like that. And then on the flip side, I was, in that article, it was saying people are being limited. One of these big social dissidents there has had everything basically stripped of him. He can't even ride on high-speed trains. He's limited. He can't ride on airlines
Right.
or ride, but be on airplanes or anything like that. This is so scary to think that the Chinese people, and like he was saying in the article, that people are going to live, and they already do, in such an illusionary state that the truth will not be around. They won't have the ability to find the truth because it will be scrubbed from their lives. It is truly the Truman Show.
Yep.
Truly the Truman Show.
And a couple little notes about that is that your score will be affected by your behavior, and that they said it's even who you associate with will affect your score, and it's like the whole guilt by association. So if your uncle's friend commits a robbery, then just because there's that 6 degrees of separation, you're going to get dinged for that too. And so the perks, if you score well, and this is all supposed to be updated real time, so you can check your score real time to see where you stand.
So you can check your email and then check whether you're going to go to the gulag.
Yeah, exactly.
Or not.
So they said the rewards, the biggest reward for scoring highly is your kids get to go to the top schools. That's their big incentive. Low scores, you mentioned one, they'll have their travel restricted. They will lose all social media access, and they will not be eligible to apply for certain jobs in the country. It's just insane.
It scares the hell out of me that this stuff is out there and that people are going to be subject to it possibly. I mean, since it's real time, you could be sitting there watching Wheel of whatever Fortune is in China, and they'll come snatch it. Yep. And who knows that whether this software is going to be able to delineate between an actual relationship and you walking by a bad person on the road.
Right. Yep.
Let's say you happen to be walking along in the grocery store next to somebody that has a 200 score, and let's say you've got a 750, and all of a sudden, because you, for one reason or the other, spent 2 minutes walking along with this person, and this biohacking equipment that they have says, oh, now you've been associated with the Whitey Bulger of China, and now you're getting snatched from the Winco of China.
Yep.
I just, that scares the hell out of me. And this is something that we're definitely going to want to keep an eye on for the Flashback Followup, because that's terrible. The next story here, number 5 in the hot sheet, is a terrible story, but it's just because it's obnoxious.
It's another Big Brother heavy-handed government thing.
Exactly, and it's stupid, and it's really not that big of a deal.
Right.
But Berkeley, California has passed a law mandating vegan food at city events at least one day a week.
Yeah.
BS.
And when I first read this, I thought that it meant maybe one day a week. Say you have like a town, like a Camas Days kind of thing, but they're a local event, a local festival, or a city function of some sort, city meetings, whatever. I thought it meant that one day a week you had to offer some sort of vegan offering. But no, I read in there, one day a week has to be 100% vegan.
That's terrible.
That is insane. And they also, as part of this new law, they will also start passing out flyers and information, what have you, propaganda, to all the businesses and residents of Berkeley, explaining to them the environmental dangers of meat production.
So basically, Berkeley is now the Shanghai of California, and forcing people to eat vegan food. Now, who's to say that people in Berkeley don't have some kind of financial ties to vegan companies or producers of vegan products, and that they're going to have some kind of financial windfall because of this?
Yeah.
I can't put it past anyone.
Oh, no, not at all.
Absolutely not. But why would you do this? Why would you subject yourself to this kind of negative publicity? I know that they're one of the most progressive, quote-unquote, cities in the nation. But there's no reason to mandate this. This is so heavy-handed and so obnoxious. Give people the option. That's why we live in America. We can go to Burgerville or we can go to the Garden. It's our choice. We don't have to go to I don't know if it's a city or a town hall meeting or whatever it is, but I don't want to eat tofurkey and listen to some dumbass city councilman tell me how much my taxes are going up. And that's what it's going to be. I'm going to be jamming soy burgers down my mouth.
Yep.
Oh, it's terrible.
Terrible.
Thank you, Charles. Terrible. Jason did mention earlier, we should be remiss if we did not mention, evidently the Cleveland Browns have won a football game for the first time, I believe, since 2016.
I say it didn't happen a lot. Yeah. Were they winning this previous? I mean, last year
they were 131-1 or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's groundbreaking news right there.
Hey, breaking it right here on KCP.
There you go.
Genetic chaos. That chaos is Cleveland winning a football game.
Baker Mayfield was in there.
Baker Mayfield Jr. the III, as Dan Patrick would say.
Yeah.
Yeah. He beat the Jets, so he beat what's his name? Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Oklahoma versus SC right there.
Oh boy. Well, it's flashback follow-up time, and my favorite guy, Elon Musk, may be causing some problems for his company Tesla by tweeting about them going private. But our question is, where's my damn flamethrower? And I'm not driving to your socialistic, communist Shanghai town of Berkeley, California to pick the damn thing up, Elon. Go ahead.
Yeah, so the follow-up is, we had talked about this before, that he had tweeted out this notion, this statement that he was thinking of taking Tesla private. That, of course, caused the stock to go up, which is bad news for little insider action going on there.
Maybe.
So he got pounded for that. So the follow up now they have opened a criminal probe looking into this to see what laws may or may not have been broken and what could happen. Of course, with the dude like Elon, he's kind of like the Hillary Clinton of the world. He's untouchable.
Yeah, he's the Teflon Don.
Teflon, yeah.
Yeah, and the biggest thing right now is that everything's voluntary, that the DOJ is requesting, but I can certainly see it causing problems because, like you said, I mean, how much money did he make on the next day after that tweet? And I'm sure all he was doing was huffing the fumes off his flamethrower. Did you see him on Rogan?
I was just going to ask you that.
Oh my gosh. The first thing, I saw, and what I'm talking about is he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, which is a great podcast for anyone that likes other podcasts besides ours. I mean, even if you got to cheat on us, cheat on us with JRE. But he smoked a joint, but he pulled a Clinton. He didn't inhale it. Not that I know anything about this, but when somebody smokes a joint, again, not that I know anything about this, you don't just pull it in your mouth and puff it out and then all of a sudden you're high. Doesn't work like that. And I've seen people do this when they've inhaled the cigarette or the marijuana cigarette. The smoke changes color after it goes into your lungs. I've heard. People have told me from the internet. So I was like, he didn't get high, and I wouldn't even call that him smoking a joint. He just pulled some smoke into his mouth and exhaled. There was no smoking of marijuana.
That was some serious fog. You couldn't even see his face.
I know. That's how you can tell he didn't, because there was no lung filtration, from what I've been told from the internet. Again, from the internet. But anyway, next up in the flashback follow-up, our final story with the hard-hitting stuff here before the freestyle. The Obama Library, this is turning into a gigantic
racket.
Oh. The $10 thing. Go ahead and tell them about the Obama. Just let me read the headline. The Obama Library is on hold, and as well it should be.
Yeah. And so with this, we've talked about this before. The Obama Presidential Foundation wanted to, or they did, purchase/take over a city park, and we're going to build this multi-story library/community center on this park. A lot of the residents got upset because, hey, you're wiping out a city park. There's not a whole lot of those around. And so there have been a lot of legal battles back and forth, and now finally they have shut down construction, albeit not until they've clear-cut the park. So all the trees are gone, and now they shut it down. So that's fantastic.
So we got that going.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so the construction has been halted until this lawsuit that the citizens have brought on has been settled. And what you alluded to is just ridiculous. The Obama Foundation was planning on, I don't know if it'll go through depending on the lawsuit.
I guarantee you it will go through.
Yeah. So under this current agreement, the Obama Foundation will sign a 99-year lease on the land for a cool $10.
That's not. This isn't $10 a day, month, year, or decade.
This is for the full 99 years. This is one little Alexander Hamilton on the table is all it takes.
Yeah, I think that's one of those. What do they call those? A sweetheart deal.
Yeah, just a little bit.
And I guess they pulled a little bit of a switcheroo on some kind of athletic complex as well, because part of what they took over. I'm going to post all these articles up in the show notes for tomorrow, so you guys can check them out. But Chicago is broke as a joke. We've been over the policing problems that they have, and part of that is due to funding issues.
Yep.
If maybe they had some money from a foundation that could certainly afford it,
more than $10,
more than $10 a century,
yeah,
they could hire more cops to help, keep their crime rate below 15 or 30 shootings a day on the weekend. It's terrible, but
yeah.
it's another one of those government sweetheart deals that we always wish the private citizens could get.
Yeah.
But no, we're the ones footing the bill for it.
Of course.
Yeah, ultimately, so
the peons, the little ones.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, the heavy lifting is done. It's time for the freestyle. I've got some fun ones up my sleeve for Wes tonight. I hope he's got some hot stuff for me. I'm going to actually surprise you with something,
okay,
because we're running a little late tonight because we said earlier we had functions and stuff like that. For the freestyle, I'd like to have a little bit of a segment in the freestyle called Heaven or Hell. And with this, it's heaven or hell. Would you rather would it be heaven or hell to either be a vegan or only eat meat? Which one? Or would that be, I should frame it a better way. Would being a vegan be heaven or hell? I know the answer to that one, but I guess we'll work on this segment. I just dropped this on you.
Straight down south with that one, yeah.
But what would be worse? Being a vegan or only being able to eat meat?
Vegan. I mean, I'm not saying that I would want to eat.
No vegetables.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying not that being a 100% meat eater would be a rosy picture.
No, it certainly wouldn't be.
But I would still take it over vegan.
Yeah, I think I would probably go vegan.
Would you?
Yeah, I love meat, but
So no more pork butt. It's just tofurkey for the rest of your life.
I would have to say yes, because when it comes to meat and barbecue like that, I actually enjoy cooking it far more than I do eating it. And when I eat meat in general, I have to have some kind of vegetable with it. I think I would have to go with that, because and I know that that's probably a pretty surprising answer coming from me, but the thought of having to eat meat every single meal.
Oh yeah, and weigh it down a little bit.
Well, it's just the fact that I would be chewing X-Lax like it was going out of business. So yeah, we're gonna work on the heaven or hell segment. Sorry, that didn't go off as well as I had hoped, but because I just kind of thought of it a little while ago, so I thought it would be fun to.
Yeah, I like it.
Kind of a hot or cold.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Anyway, what do you have for me next?
Well, funny that you mentioned this. I'm going to segue kind of into a food deal. We had talked previously about a top 3, I think, smoked meats we had done before. So I'm going to twist it a little bit. Your top 3 items, food items that are smoked. Doesn't have to be meat. In anything that's smoked. What were your top 3 smoked food items?
Not including what Elon. No.
Yeah.
I'm joking. I heard it on the internet. No. Okay. Top 3. Anything smoked.
Anything smoked.
Boy. So. This is captivating podcasting here, is when you hear me thinking or watch me thinking.
Gears grinding.
Yeah. Well, I would have to say number 3 would be chicken.
Okay.
Yeah. Out of anything, I still do love it. I'm getting cold, honestly, and so my teeth are almost.
The synapses aren't firing correctly upstairs.
My teeth are almost about to start chattering. Yeah. I'm not kidding. I would have to say chicken would be number 3, because I love smoked chicken.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to text my wife and see if she'll bring me a sweatshirt. That's not a joke. Yeah.
Wow.
No, I'm not kidding. I am cold. Because
temperature's dropping.
Yeah.
So number 3 for me is something that I recently tried and liked a lot, and we're going to try it again here in about 4 weeks.
Yes.
That would be pork belly burnt ends. Is I've only had them twice now, and I cannot wait to have them again because they were that incredible. So that's going to be number 3 for me.
I really like those. I have actually been thinking about them more and more. It may be something that I have to do on my own before I come over to your house for that fun day.
Then I'll let you down with mine after you had yours.
No. No, in fact, I'm going to get your recipe from you because
I got it on my phone.
I just love that to death. So number 2 for me, see, I don't like, we talked about this on the pellet grill versus real wood grill. I don't like a lot of smoked items that are like cookies.
Yeah, the desserty kind of stuff. Yeah, I agree.
I just can't get behind that. I'm going to go number 2 off the grill, not so much smoke, but pizza off the grill, off the Traeger is one of my favorite things because there's something to it that you can't recreate in your oven. And I'm just talking about a Papa Murphy's pizza.
Right.
And I'm going to go back to even before I went gluten-free. Doing that, and maybe it's just the fact that it was a Friday night and we'd get a pizza and I'd throw it on the Traeger, which just became a glorified pizza oven. I love the cowboy pizza off the Traeger. It was great. That's one of my, and I'm not, it's just, you would probably be surprised, even though I love ribs and brisket and stuff like that. I love pizza. It's one of my favorite foods.
Number 2 for me is another item we're going to have in 4 weeks to go with the pork belly.
ABTs?
Yep, the old bacon-wrapped jalapeno poppers. Those bad boys I cannot get enough of. It's just, pull them off there, and the cream cheese is just a little bit tan-colored with the smoke embedded in there.
When you do the cream cheese, do you spice it up? Do you touch it up with anything?
No, I've thought about it before, but I have not.
Okay, so I'm going to just make that recommendation. I have taken it, and all I do is mix it with some Frank's Red Hot.
Okay.
Just a little bit, nothing too crazy, but it gives that, and because I love Frank's and that vinegar in there, it really works well.
I'm a Tapatio fan. I got a lot of Tapatio at home. Would that work too?
Oh yeah, well anything like that.
Yeah.
Because what you're doing, all of them have vinegar in.
Yeah, right.
And so it's just that balance between the fat in the bacon and the vinegar. It works so well. Yeah. It's just like having in the South and the Carolinas they use vinegar-based barbecue sauces, and those are they work so well with pork because of the fat, and then they're not sweet at all or anything like that.
One twist I've thought about doing, I have not done yet, but it's still intriguing to me, is with the cream cheese, get like the garlic cream cheese.
Really?
Yeah, because
Philly
cream cheese has the flavored cream cheeses.
Yes.
I thought
the garlic and chive one.
Oh yeah, I think there's an onion I don't know. Well, yeah,
we can make it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
let's do that.
Yeah,
that sounds like an amazing idea.
Little compound butter, but with the cream cheese instead of compound cream cheese. Yeah.
Oh, see, it just gets better and better. Yep. That's phenomenal. So number 1 for me, and it just flew out of my head. What the heck was it? Son of a biscuit. Oh, come on, Will.
Pork butt?
No, I'm not, because I'm going away from things
meat,
the hardcore meat stuff.
Right.
No, cheese. That's what.
Oh yeah, I did.
Smoked cheese.
I didn't think about that. Yep.
Is amazing.
Yep.
We do what we call the smorgasbord every once in a while. And in fact, I bet we do it this Saturday, where we'll just go down to Safeway, and the 4 of us will each pick a few items, and usually what we'll do also is get the meat and cheese platter, and we get this smoked cheddar from Tillamook, and then get some, the salami and stuff like that. But a good cold smoked cheddar cheese or a pepper jack or something like that. If you can, for pepper jack, because it's so creamy, you got to keep that temperature really low.
Way down, yeah.
But I love smoked cheese.
Yep. Yeah, I totally spaced on that because that would have potentially cracked the list. I don't know, but yeah, that's definitely an honorable mention for me.
Did you say number 1?
No.
Okay, we'll give it to
you. The old standby, my favorite brisket.
Yes.
I cannot get enough of brisket, man.
It's I'm gonna have to do a brisket because I'm gonna do a get together here pretty soon, and I haven't done a brisket in at least a year.
Okay.
It's been a long time. And
I was gonna say, tagging on to that, if you told me I could only have one smoked meat period for the rest of my life.
Oh, I like this one. Let's
roll with this. Yeah,
one.
I would take brisket. I'll pass on the pork butt, the chicken, the pork belly burn ends, God forbid. But yeah, if you told me I could only have one smoked meat for the rest of my life, only ever eat one smoked meat, I would go brisket.
Boy, this is gun to your head stuff right here.
Yeah.
I love brisket. I really do, and there's so many applications for it. So I enjoy pulled pork multiple times a year. If I'm just gonna put it out there, like if I had to choose a meat that I was going to have multiple times, it would be pulled pork. Gun to my head, though, I think I got to go with you.
Yeah.
I think brisket is it's
classic.
It is the king of the smoked meat. Now, we would get lots of arguments from somebody in the Carolinas or in Kansas City or something like that, but I think hands down brisket is the number one smoked meat. I think that was a good one. That was a great idea there because wow. Now I really want brisket.
Me too.
I can taste it in my mouth.
Yep.
And I got a bunch of rub in there, and I made barbecue sauce the other day. Don't let anyone know that I made it. But yeah, so before you leave tonight, I got a jar in there.
Thank you.
So
speaking of like rub, I've got with the pork belly burn ends that we're doing in 4 weeks. I made a huge batch of the rub the last time around, and I'm glad I did because the rub turned out awesome. So I've got a full quart jar full of the dry rub. So
very nice. I'll make some of my rub up for you and give it to you.
Okay.
It goes on pork, beef, everything really well. It's poultry, the whole works. So,
all right.
Here's as we're kind of winding down in the year and getting closer to the fall and things like that. And I'm a man, so I want to see what your take on this is.
Okay.
When do you start Christmas shopping?
I'm not a man?
No, you are a man.
Okay.
I said you are a man.
Where are you going with that? Okay.
When do you start Christmas shopping? Now, I think I'm just going to preface this with saying what I think. I think you start in mid-October, just knowing what kind of preparedness you always have.
Yeah, see, I got to watch my words because I see that my wife may be watching here.
She is.
But she full credit to her, she does 95% of it. So the only thing that I do maybe is for my parents and for her, and maybe a little bit of the kids, but she takes care of pretty much everything else. So
okay, maybe before you got married, then when would you start Christmas shopping?
If I ran in, it depends. If I ran into something during the summer or along the year, I thought, that'd be a sweet gift for my dad for Christmas, then I'd pick it up right then. But I wouldn't go in the mindset of like, okay, I'm going to start looking for stuff. It would just be if I happened to stumble across something.
See, I wouldn't do that. Never have, never will. I am guilty of being a December 24th shopper.
I haven't gone
on more than one occasion.
I've definitely done December stuff before where I wait easily, maybe even like up the week before. I've never done like the night before. I haven't gone that crazy.
I absolutely have, and you're getting flamed right now, and that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Glad I brought this up. No, I from me, like a week before. Now I will say that with the advent of Amazon, it has made my life so much easier.
But what the problem is now is that I can't order anything on
because
Amazon
your wife
because my
sees
wife
the
will
damn
see it.
thing,
Exactly.
right?
So yes,
because you both have the Prime account.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And you're not going to go sign up for another Prime account because you're not paying another $120 for it.
Right.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. But I have over the years I've gotten better, especially with Kim, in researching things and I'll take notes and say, okay, this would be something good for her, but the actual shopping, typically not till about a week before, something like that. Oh my goodness!
No, she's crazy. She does it throughout the year. So we're usually, now that since we've been married, we've been done like before Thanksgiving.
Oh,
easily.
Gosh.
Easily.
Now see, Kim and I, when we do we group shop. We actually have a tradition, as long as we've been married, we usually the second weekend, if we don't have a Christmas party, either the second or third weekend of December, we go out for dinner. I have a couple of cocktails because I don't particularly enjoy shopping. And
you have a couple of cocktails and you go to IKEA.
No, I do not, because I had a discussion with my mother about IKEA today.
Uh-oh.
And I had to tell her what a garbage store it is, and she was like, "But the meatballs Mom, the meatballs are horrible. There's nothing redeeming about it. You go there to eat crappy meatballs and be on the Truman Show because everyone's going to die. I've said it once and I'll say it again. It's a terrible place, and it's all cheapish furniture. Now, all kidding aside, they have some stuff that's all right, and it is pretty good priced. Although I've noticed that their prices, not that I go there a lot,
wait a minute.
have come up to some degree. It's probably been a couple of years since I've been.
Probably the tariffs.
Yeah, which are coming back. I heard they're in fashion again. We got some more laid on us this week, didn't we?
Yep.
Yeah, getting ready. Except for Apple, they're going to be all. They're
exempt.
Yeah. How fun is that?
They got the golden ticket.
Right. So go ahead. What's your next one?
My next freestyle. It'd be my last freestyle. I'll only come up with two. This one's courtesy of my wife, and so this is probably going to cause some flamage from the viewing public. Your top 3 most overrated / boring, so you could consider it both, either or, overrated / boring sports.
Oh.
And I'm talking
like viewing or playing.
I would say viewing.
Okay.
And obviously think broad spectrum of sports, not just your main 4, basketball, football, baseball, hockey kind of thing, but think broad, Olympic sports, some kind of far-fetched stuff, or even semi-mainstream stuff. But anyway, your top 3 most overrated / boring sports.
Well, I already know oh, here we go.
No, I threw boring in there because overrated is kind of subjective. I wanted to. So yeah, she thinks overrated, but yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I already know what my number 1 is. My number 3, I would probably say, oh boy, running. Anything watching people running. I can't believe they actually put that crap on television. Like, jogging. Like marathons and crap.
Yeah, the marathons.
I'm not taking anything away from them.
Like the 100-meter stuff at the Olympics, those are kind of cool. So you guys
I guess I should say long distance.
Long distance, distance.
Like
I agree.
said, marathons.
Yeah,
or
distance is hard.
So I'll go with that's my number 3.
Okay, number 3 for me. Here comes the flames, NASCAR, and I'm gonna preface it by saying NASCAR specifically, and not necessarily auto racing, because I enjoy watching it and I have a much higher respect for open wheel racing, i.e. Indy or Formula One racing, because there is zero margin for error. Because obviously the whole NASCAR rubbing is racing, you can just be tagging people all day long. You can't do that in open wheel racing because your 2 wheels touch, you're gone.
Yeah, you're out.
You're in the wall. You break an axle. To see those guys screaming like at the Indy 500 or any long oval track, those guys screaming down the front stretch at 230 miles an hour, and their tires are like 3 inches from each other, and one false move, you're done. You're in the wall at 200 miles an hour. That's insane.
I mean, that is surgeons have the hands of a saint, but to have that kind of hand-eye coordination and foot coordination is absolutely incredible. I mean, Mario Andretti, Bobby Rahal, any of those guys are just absolutely amazing. And didn't Rahal jump to NASCAR for a while? I thought
there's been a lot of crossover people, just because NASCAR has the better sponsorship and marketing stuff, so you get more money out of NASCAR. But there's been quite a few. Danica Patrick, of course, has been a crossover. Who's the other guy? The Italian guy.
A really Italian guy in open wheel racing.
Well, he moved to NASCAR.
Well, there's a couple guys that do both races. They do the Indy 500 and another NASCAR race.
And like the Daytona 500 for NASCAR. Danica's done that on the same day. The chopper to
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So I actually like racing. I don't watch a lot of it. I usually watch Daytona every year.
And the Indy 500, I do that.
Yeah, I don't even watch that because wow, somebody just got the rice rocket just roaring up 32nd there up the hill. So no, I like it a lot, but we don't have
NASCAR is going to flame people. What are you talking about?
Oh wait, I will piss some people off with my number one. Don't you worry about that.
All right.
What's
I
your
probably will too.
no, my number two.
Yeah.
My number two, because I'm so focused on my number one. My number two. I am gonna piss people off. Women's basketball.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Did I hit it out of the park?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
There's nothing like a layup, a power layup to really set me off. And it's nothing against women because they're. And I played basketball with some women that are just phenomenal. My wife being one of them. She's a terrific athlete. She was a 4-year letterman in basketball in high school. But to watch it, I just can't do it.
Snooze factor 10 on that.
Yeah.
Number two for me is tennis.
Oh no, I actually kind of enjoy it
because it's just, and it's okay. But it's just, I almost wanted to say soccer, but then I knew I'd get flamed for that.
Oh no, soccer! It's the beautiful sport.
But you just the back and forth, like ping pong. It's I don't know.
Ping pong's fun too.
It's funny. The dude's standing like 10 feet back from the table,
yes,
just
those
wailing
guys
on and stuff.
Oh, that's great stuff.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. And particularly those matches last like 15 hours.
Yes.
It's like, good God.
Well, I think that I really started to enjoy tennis more. Not that I watch it a lot. I'm not watching the U.S. Open or Wimbledon or anything like that. But when I learned, thank you, Nate Ballholm, how to score tennis, I started to enjoy it a lot more. But you're exactly right. You get into these marathon 6-hour matches, I have no interest in watching any sport. I couldn't care less what sport it is. I don't want to watch it for 6 hours. There just comes a point where we got to stop. Not that we're going to have a tie like the NFL. I think that's bullshit. That the NFL has tie.
Yeah.
This is the highest form of football, and you have a tie? I mean,
even college can figure it out.
Kissing your cousin.
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Okay, so is it my turn to go number one?
Number one.
Number one
the
is
major
ice
flamage.
skating. Ice skating is
I didn't think about that.
Ice skating is horrible.
I'm with you. I didn't think about that, but yeah, good call.
I shouldn't say ice. Like speed skating, I can actually because the wipeouts are amazing.
Yeah, slamming into the wall.
Yeah. I mean, not
same reason you tune into auto racing.
Exactly. And I'm not hoping anyone gets hurt or anything, but so more to the point of figure skating.
Couples figure skating, the triple lutz and whatever
triple putts.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry, I just can't get behind it.
Oh no,
there's nothing, and then the outfits are so over the top, and what the hell? It's not a fashion show.
I think it is. Yeah.
I guess. I mean, and then to hear him talk about it like, I'm sorry. There's nothing about figure skating that I can enjoy.
Number one for me was your number two, WNBA. Same thing, man. And I'm horrible right here, horrible at basketball. I got no problem admitting that.
At your height, you can't get in there and use that rump.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
The rump
back
shaker?
it on there like Shaq. Yeah. No, but it's just the fast breaks when they're yogging down the court. And the layup. And
the alley layup.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's not sexist. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm just calling a spade a spade.
Yeah.
There's just,
And honorable mention for my wife, because she wanted me to put it on there, but I didn't put it on there. So I'll say it's her one most overrated, and then it'll be a flame at you. WWE.
Oh, come on. What?
Yes.
Those guys are tremendous athletes. Are you serious, Tia? Oh,
yeah.
You haven't seen it in person. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at you, Tia, right now. If you go to a WWF match, because I went to a WWF before the World Wildlife Federation took him out, which I can't believe Vince let him do that.
Yeah.
He's got enough money. He's got to go buy out the Audubon Society, whoever the hell runs that thing. But come on. The athletic prowess of somebody going ladder to ladder or cage match, dropping the people's elbow.
Oh, man.
The rock bottom. Come.
I knew we could get fired up.
Seriously? I know it's fake. It doesn't mean it's not entertaining. It's amazing. They're athletic. The story's awesome. Come. Oh, wow, Tia. We're gonna have to continue this because such BS. It's a lie. So is Santa Claus. But guess what? The kids are getting stuff from Santa Claus, aren't they? It's a lie, but it's still awesome. It's okay. Sorry. I'll bring my
knew that
voice.
would get the blood pressure
You
up.
have an earpiece in. She's just feeding you the crap. Like, let's get Will fired up at 9:22 in his backyard in front of 3 flaming lights that are blinding him. Holy crap. So I've got my heaven or hell thing.
Okay.
Yard work, heaven or hell.
Depends on what it is, I would say.
No,
Like,
we can't
mowing
do
the
that.
lawn, I dig that. But
Okay.
but yeah, if we're talking like pulling weeds, yeah, that's a whole different ball of wax. So
It's terrible.
It would depend on the yard work in question.
I will say the same thing. Yeah, like the Saturday afternoon yard work, that's all right. When Kim goes, hey, what? Who? You like figure skating?
No, but yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Who are you friends with? Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you that. It had nothing to do with it. But no, the Saturday afternoon yard work, mowing the lawn, out with the kids, maybe spreading a little bark dust, that's all right. When my lovely wife says it's time to get the garden ready, I may chop my foot off. It's right up there because I've got another heaven or hell. We could do it at a later date, painting, and I know we both live in that one, and that's in the flames of hell. But no, you're exactly right.
My parents used to, when I was in high school, we lived on 5 acres, and I used to love jumping on the riding mower and just cruising.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I would find people to do it for free because you want to cruise around, and now I'll go out and when we used to live with Kim's mom, I would get out there and just get some water and put my headphones in. I wasn't the beer guy and stuff like that because it shakes your beer up and all foamy and crap like that. But no, I just put my earphones in and crank out for a couple hours, just tooling around on the old
earphones with the Discman.
Yes.
Back in high school.
No, the Walkman, man. I wasn't rich. I had a Walkman, brother, and it was the high school pharmacy Walkman.
Oh, nice.
The $15.99 like Seiko or not Seiko. I don't remember. It was not a high quality.
Yeah.
It was not nearly as nice as Marty McFly's Walkman.
Oh man.
I did not have any. It didn't have like the cool latch or anything. I had the duct tape on it to hold it in because it broke.
Speaking of just total squirrel moment here, Marty McFly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a segue tie-in since we're going to go interview Tracy Dorio tomorrow at his house. He posted pictures today. Guess what was parked in front of his house?
A DeLorean?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, they had a DeLorean parked there today. I'm
Tracy had one, or just
no?
somebody?
Somebody brought it in for show.
Really?
Like, man, we missed it by a day. Why couldn't that be there
and
tomorrow?
he thought it was Friday today.
Yeah, exactly.
That was so awesome
Yeah.
when you said Tracy thought that today was Friday and he was running late for an interview, which I'll go over in just a little bit. But that was pretty funny. He texts Wes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm running behind it," and Wes was like, "Today's Thursday. We're scheduled for tomorrow." Oh, I keep thinking today's Friday. That was hilarious,
great.
Tracy. So yeah, that was good stuff.
But yeah, he threw that picture up there with a DeLorean parked in the driveway. I'm like, oh, why can't that be there tomorrow?
I want to see you in a DeLorean.
Oh,
Go try to
dive
get
in there.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Or out.
Yeah.
That's that would be pretty damn funny. So I'm gonna go. I've got one other one here that is apropos for the time of year it is right now. But what is your favorite season of the year?
Wow, that's a tough one. That's because there's something I like about every season.
That's why I said.
Yeah, so that's very tough. Which is why I like living here because you get all the seasons.
Exactly, and we don't have hurricanes and tornadoes.
Versus like California, you get like 1.5 seasons.
If that.
And then
New York has 4 good days a year, 2 in the fall, 2 in the
and then like
spring.
in the North Plains, like Minnesota, Wisconsin, you have either summer or winter. It's either 90 degrees with 100% humidity, or it's
the bugs are carrying,
or
you
it's
off.
10 below zero with 5 feet of snow. Those are only 2 options.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to your question. I would say.
Glad we covered the nation.
Yeah, just trying to
map.
hit all the regions. That's tough. I gotta say, it's tough. I gotta say fall.
It is tough. They all have something going for them.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so.
Oh, you want to do an order?
Yeah, go
Descending
ahead.
order.
Yeah, go ahead from 4th to 1st.
I would say spring would be 4.
Okay.
Oh summer 3, winter
Really?
2. Yeah, winter
Wow,
2,
you're a
fall
crazy
1.
person.
I know. I like cold, so I would say spring 4, summer 3, winter 2, fall 1.
Wow. I'm going to disagree with that one. Winter is definitely number 4 for me for a number of reasons. First, I always freeze my ass off. Number 2, the darkness just kills me. I just like the light, and because of where we live and what you mentioned before, I love having all the seasons, but the rainy, dreary, I just need some sunlight.
Yeah.
Like pure sunlight, not I mean, I'll go to Bend where it's, 15 degrees outside, but I get the vitamin D.
Yeah.
So winter's number 4 for me. Number 3 would have to be spring, because it is the light at the end of the tunnel from winter. Nothing beats number 2, well, except for number 1. Really going on a limb here on that one. Number 2 is going to be summer.
Yeah.
I love the heat, but you're exactly right. Right now, we are in the sweet spot of the year. The next 3 weeks are the best time of any year. Basically starting right now, because next week we're going to be in like the upper 70s.
Yeah, we're near 80 almost the whole week. That's what I'm seeing. It's pretty crazy.
So we're going to be really nice, but it's going to be cool in the evening.
Yeah, because we're getting dark earlier now, so the temperatures head downhill quicker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the other reason I like it is we don't have daylight savings, which I will get into at some point. We're going to have a good discussion about that. But so it is. We're in the sweet spot right now, and we got football. You can still go out and do stuff with the family. You can have barbecues. You can do all that stuff. But you can have a fire in the evening, and you're not roasting your nuts off because it's 90 degrees out or anything like that. So fall is by far my number 1. That's I love that. Yeah. It is my favorite. So, do you have crunch time?
You know what? Other than just, I was going to talk about the fact that we got
why don't you go ahead and tell them?
Interview with Tracy Dorio tomorrow at the Marina Homes. We probably won't be, for acoustic reasons, probably won't be live streaming that. We'll just have a regular audio podcast, but we'll take tons of photos, and that'll be up on the site. So we're interviewing him tomorrow. He's one of the home builders there. And then the other thing I'm really looking forward to is the smoke and the pork belly and the ABTs and having fun with that in 4 weeks. It's going to be great.
That is going to be a kick in the pants. I do have a crunch time.
Okay.
I had a couple things grind on me here, and I believe it was yesterday. I was watching something on television, Dan Patrick or something, and an ad for DirecTV came on, and basically it was glorifying Keeping Up with the Joneses, and I thought it was one of the worst looks for an advertisement I've ever seen. It said how much better everything is in your better house with I don't think they said anything about a car, but basically if you don't have this, then your life's not good. And I have such a huge problem with that being, especially in the media or in an advertisement where they're trying to influence somebody, that they're making your insecurities about what you don't have already such a big deal, and to make you feel insecure because of the fact that you don't have the DirecTV or the fanciest house or something like that. I thought that was absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen that, but I agree with you. That's
I'm going to try to find it and link to it
Okay.
in the I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I'll try to link to it in the show notes for tomorrow. So we'll see about that. But I was like, in everything that we're doing right now, we don't need to make it worse for people to feel even more insecure, let alone the fact that you've got Twitter and social media and all that. Now you got DirecTV telling you that you're not doing something
good enough,
right. Yeah, exactly. So DirecTV, you get my thumbs down for that. So, well, with that, again, Wes shared with you, we're going to drop that interview on Monday's podcast.
Right.
We'll put that into the podcast. We'll have the short actual live episode, because that interview, which I'm shooting for 30 to 40 minutes of interview time there, who knows, we've got a whole bunch of questions for Tracy, so we'll see how that turns out. But that will drop on Mondays. But with that, we wish everyone a very wonderful weekend. Anything else?
I got nothing.
Well, thank you guys for listening to the Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 49. Be sure to check out Tech 2, Platinum Moms, and KCP Kids all up on the website at www.kineticchaos.com. Like and subscribe our YouTube channel, all that good stuff. We really appreciate everyone listening. We will talk to you soon.
See you later.
We go. Woo! 104.
Alrighty.
Whew.
Shut it down.
Oh man, those you can feel the heat on those lights though.